And now I'm self-conscious now. This is like...
They're celebrities.
So, what do we need to know on the external anatomy of perch, you guys? You could probably tell me without even looking at your lab write-up. So, you need to know the fins, right? So, what are the different fins? And so, what is this fin I've got here?
Dorsal.
This is the dorsal fin. This is also the dorsal fin, right? So, what is the distinction between them?
That's the anterior.
Anterior dorsal fin here and the posterior dorsal fin, right? What would this one down here then be?
That is anal.
Yeah, the anal fin or the... No, that's not the pelvic fin. This is the anal or ventral fin, right? So I kind of like to use the word ventral only because it's kind of opposite of dorsal. So it has an anterior and a posterior dorsal fin, but then just this single ventral fin. Now you mentioned the pelvic fin. Where are those at? Well, that's these ones that have moved much farther forward. So this is the, one pelvic fin. This is the other pelvic fin here. So again, they're paired, right? And so the pelvic fins are paired. There's two of them. And what other ones are paired? Pectoral fins. And so that's pretty easy. Right here and right here, right? And then what's the other fin that we haven't said yet? Caudal fin. So that's not paired. That's just the back of the tail here. So there's the caudal fin. So what else do you suppose we should know? Bonioperculum, right? So where's our bonioperculum? You can see it pretty well here. That's this, yeah? And so again, I'm not going to pry the whole thing off, but if you can't sort of see underneath it, you can actually see the gills. And so it's not like it seals off the gills altogether. It's just a flap-like covering, and the water can get behind. So, right, and again, on both sides here. What else can we see pretty well here? What I'm tracing right here. The lateral line, right? So there's the lateral line here. It still shows it pretty nicely here on both sides. Here's the other side, the lateral line. What is the lateral line?
For movement?
It's a mechanoreceptor that's it's not aiding in this fish's movement. What's it doing?
It feels for movement.
It's detecting movement of neighboring predator or prey, movement not literally of the organism, but the water that's being pushed around by the movement of those organisms, right? So there's our lateral line. And then I think that's everything except for it just says the eyes, the nostrils, and the mouth. And so I mean that's pretty obvious here. So the eyes, the nostrils, and the mouth. So who's got the sheet? Is there anything else that I can call off? So again, it's the fins, the operculum, the lateral line, and then just the stuff on the head there. So that's the external. If we had dissected it, it's the stuff that we've seen for everything else. That what I would have liked to kind of show you is that one of the things that it says to do for the dissection is to skin all of the scales off. What's going to be found underneath the scales when we remove the scales? And the scales are their skin. So what's underneath their skin? Muscles, right? And so the kind of nice thing to show about the muscles of a fish is that it looks very much like a, no, I'm not going to do it because it, when you cook a slab of salmon, it looks just like it, right? Because that's what you're eating is the muscles. So it shows it pretty nicely. The other thing is if we had dissected it, it's usually burst, unfortunately, which is why I don't feel too bad about not showing it. But there's one kind of interesting organ that we'd find in this perch that we wouldn't find in anything else. And what might that be? Swim bladder. Yeah, so the swim bladder it's a gas-filled sac and often gets punctured, but you can at least see kind of like the sac that would surround it once it gets punctured. And then it's just an open space once because it's just gases. But you don't have to know the muscles or the swim bladder, just the external stuff. Okay.
We go first.
No, we're gonna now from this point on we're gonna go in order of the lab. So that means you guys are last.